everybody. Welcome to iCast Guidance, your weekly Dungeons & Dragons and ttrpg podcast, where every week, Rich, Garrett, and I pick up a subject around the culture of gaming and discuss it with you. So, without further ado, sharpen up those daggers. We're going to get started right now. All right, I'm not going to lie. One of the most terrifying things on Earth, at least in my mind, is when the phone rings at 2:30 in the morning, and you're not a night person, so you know that if that phone rings, it's really important. And that's what happened on December 26th, is in the middle of the night, my phone rang, and I immediately knew something was not right. Now, I'm not going to go into all the details on this because the phone rang several times. I couldn't make the connection. My wife thought that I was dreaming because I'm up saying hello into a phone with no voice on the other side. And then it rang again. And I got the call from my sister that my parents' house was burning down the night after Christmas. And so in a complete panic, I ran out the door in 12-degree weather and raced up to their house to see them being hauled off to a hospital in an ambulance with smoke inhalation. And I watched as the home I grew up in as a child basically burned almost to the ground. Now, I'm telling you this for a couple of reasons. One, since that day, and currently as I'm recording this, it is only December 28th, so it's only 2 days later. But we have done nothing but run, organize things, insurance issues, poachers and trolls coming to the house trying to sell us bogus services, people with donations, and thank God for all of them because they're awesome. And it's just been a very, very long and arduous process. Now my parents are living here in the house and we're making adjustments and things are moving on. Now, if you've listened to this podcast for a while, you know that I tend to struggle a little bit with some of the technology, and the guys make fun of me because I often forget to press record or I have something playing in the background. I'm not going to lie. We got together this morning. Garrett, Rich, Nathan, and I got together and we had a fantastic conversation. The one we told you we were going to have. The one around New Year's resolutions in the ttrpg space. Like, what were we going to do differently this year? And how, and Nathan brought this up, how are we going to check in on the progress of that? How are we going to make those resolutions real? How would we make them come true? And it was one of the most lively and energetic and frankly deep conversations we've had so far. And for me, at least, I think part of it came from a real need to be away from the space of anxiety and worry and everything that had gone on 2 days prior. And it just kind of shifted me back into the world that I love. And I got to have a conversation with the people I love about what I love to do. And it felt really good. So why am I here talking without them? Because again, the technology slipped my mind. And I left our background music program playing for the entire conversation, which, by the way, doesn't get pumped through the headphones. So we never heard it. But it was there, clear as day, on the audio track. So we tried to extract it, and that worked pretty well, but it wasn't perfect. And frankly, during some of the conversation, the noise artifacts left over from what was not extracted they're almost unbearable. So I'm making the executive decision today to jump in, re-record for a few minutes to tell you what happened, and then sign off and leave you to your New Year's Eve and, to gather with your loved ones and hope for a great 2025. I will say this. First thing I want to do is extend my apologies to my teammates and tell them I'm really sorry I screwed this up again. And I also want to thank them for all their love and support and for everything that they've given me. Now, the conversation around ttrpgs, I will tell you this. It basically focused on a couple of things. One, we all want to get better at doing this. We all want to be better players and game masters. And we all talked about the various ways in which we do that. So Nathan brought up some brilliant information on using solo ttrpg play to enhance the character they play with in our game. Sort of a way to sort of journal and discover aspects of the character that they could use in role play. Rich talked about notions of actual role play and getting into characters that he would not normally play inside of his comfort zone. And he wants to learn more about himself through those characters. Garrett talked a lot about understanding where his current character comes from and taking a deeper dive into the underpinnings of his character's story. And I, as a GM, I talked about this idea of honing my skills in a new ttrpg, in this case, Daggerheart, and then also trying out at least 2 new tabletop role-playing games so that I just kind of add to my experience list. And in the end, it all adds up to, we're looking forward to another year of this. We're looking forward to getting better at what we do. And most of all, I have to say, this channel is not quite a year old in terms of YouTube and, the podcast that we make. And we have had a tremendous response from all of you. And I would like to personally say thank you to every single one of you, the ones who comment, the ones who engage and really listen and support us. We love that about all of you, and we're super thankful for that. And, when you're sort of standing in the face of a lot of loss, and you're noticing that how quickly people's lives can be changed in a heartbeat, you really start to take stock of what you have. And I feel like we are all really lucky to have all of you and to be supported by a great group of people, and to also be able to sort of say, hey, we take time to play because we understand that playing is incredibly important to learn about who we are. And we take it very seriously. And we know that you do too. And we think you're all awesome for that. So I can safely say this from the bottom of all of our hearts. You guys out there have a great new year, and we can't wait to keep going. All right. We'll talk to you next time. Thanks.